I have not updated my baby leopard geckos in a while. I had 4 of them that hatched out a few months ago, and just haven't gotten around to making an update on these guys. There's 4 of them in here, 3 normals and 1 albino. And right now I house them in this custom-made tank that I got from a really good custom tank dealer at the St. Louis Reptile Expo a couple years ago. And like I said, they're all doing well. Just housing them in here. I'm changing up the way I house my geckos. Right now they're all in these temporary smaller enclosures right now. I'm going to be moving them over to something more breeder friendly with them, something they'll be a little more comfortable with. I've been trying out some different things. I did start out keeping these guys as pets as far as leopard geckos go, but once I started finding success in breeding them, I thought I would go ahead and continue breeding them and getting some more leopard geckos and making them part of MJDK reptiles as far as selling them. I won't go too crazy with them as far as breeding. I'm gonna try to keep it very simple. I love leopard geckos. They're very fun, easy animals to take care of. They're a little feisty when they're babies. If you ever owned a baby leopard gecko, that can be a handful if you don't watch it. They'll bite the hell out of you. But outside of that, I mean, these guys are just cute little guys. One of the things I love about them is just how well they work in communities and how well they adapt to their surroundings. You can change their environment up quite a bit. Not that I do that, but if you could, and they won't get so stressed out where they'll stop eating, or they'll eat. It doesn't matter. You can rehouse them 4 times in one day, and they'll eat in every single enclosure. They're just very easy to take care of. Don't demand a lot as far as that. Outside of the calcium, you want to keep that calcium in them, and want to change their diet up a little bit. They do love their super worms, and I do give it to them regularly, but they do like crickets. They get their exercise with the crickets. They like dubia roaches, mealworms for these guys. It's their primary diet. They love mealworms, but I mean, they've all been doing really great. And like I said, it's been fun raising these guys. I had a few clutches that from some of my females that turned out to be duds. It took me a while to get to the hang of actually getting these guys all the way through the incubation period and actually hatch out. But once I figured it out, it's really easy. And once I figured it out, I figured, you know what, go ahead and just add it to the breeding program with the ball pythons. These guys have been growing pretty well. Can't really complain about them at all as far as their growth rate and how they eat. I've had no problems out of these guys at all. And they're starting to get rid of the little baby coloration with the black stripe and everything. You can start seeing the trademark normal leopard spotting coming in there. Here's a better look at these guys. I often put a lot of my animals in this little enclosure because it has, especially when I'm doing shows and stuff, if I want to show off an animal, it has this the lock on it. This custom-made enclosure works really well with small animals. I couldn't put any bigger ones in here to show off because they'll climb right out the top here. But for this, for these babies, and sometimes I'll throw in ball pythons for filming. Really get a lot of use out of this little enclosure. Works well. I never keep anything permanent in this enclosure. It's usually always like a transfer thing. If I get a new animal, I usually will, if it's small enough to fit in here, I'll usually quarantine it in this. So it's like a quarantine cage slash feeding cage slash filming cage. Works really well and all that. But some of these guys in here, she was hiding behind that rock back there, that log I had in here. Love this albino. She's looking really sweet. This one is looking awesome. This one here is actually the first one that I ever hatched out. Looking good. Love the coloration when they start getting bigger. and they're slightly starting to get their spotting for the normals. But this guy's amazing looking. Like I said, he was the first one that I ever hatched out. Just an amazing looking little guy. Love the way they look when they're babies. So different from when they become adults. But that's the 4 baby leopard geckos. I thought I'd share it with you guys. Haven't done an update on these little fellas and wanted to make sure I document them before they get too big and we don't see that transition stage, because that's like one of the most important stages for me that I enjoy, is that little transition stage when they start losing their baby coloration and start going into adult coloration. They look really, really sweet. So thought I would share this with you guys. Like I said, I'll be breeding more in the future with leopard geckos. Once I figured it out, it actually it's worth the trouble now. As soon as you get the hang of breeding them and incubating them and all that, you know, your mind starts to wander and be like, okay, maybe I can do this. So I won't get too crazy with my projects, but I will do enough where they'll keep me busy. I'm gonna buy a lot more leopard geckos. I've always wanted to add them to my ball python breedings. Anyway, so now that I got it all figured out, hopefully I'll produce more of these guys.